It's finally time. Fire up the gerbils. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready.
What is up?
Not much, man. My volume on my mic now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yo, your channel's blowing up today.
It's been a busy day, man. To say the least.
I guess what is this
It's been busy.
technically your third video today.
Yeah, I didn't want to I wasn't going to post anything today. Literally, well, I wasn't going to post anything at all. Obviously, some of my subscribers got like an early glimpse or an idea that I had something on on Saturday. I was on vacation in Orlando, and I get a notification from somebody saying, "Hey, you know, there's a video on your channel." And I'm like, "What?" And I go on my creator app. I'm like, "Crap." So I'm like, I quickly pulled it to private, and then I had to share the video with somebody that needed to see it to proof it. And as soon as I clicked it unlisted so they can view it, like 26 more views came through because they already had the link to the video. So, so it was, yeah, that was a kerfuffle.
Now, the stream, what we're going to be talking about today is the Parrot Anafi, but I know that Evo is making big news, so why don't we just talk about that for like 5 minutes to start off with?
Yeah, we can do that. So today's outline today, we're going to be talking about the Parrot Anafi. Billy got some hands-on time with this drone last Wednesday, which is exciting, and I want to try to pick his brain about things that may have not have made it into his video. So we'll talk about that, but so yeah, finally today, Autel has finally confirmed that the Evo is going to be available publicly on the 25th. Now, initially it was supposed to be the 21st, and now it's the 25th. So my guess is, and this is the whole reason why we haven't seen it yet, is Apple.
Apple?
Yeah. Apple's app approval process is halting the release of the drone. It has nothing to do with hardware shipping or anything like that. It's just Apple has to verify the app and all that good crap. So
I guess so. What I guess that's probably a manual process, right? Like someone has to do that.
So Apple does the same thing to my app that I do for work. So every time we submit a new build, they have to test it. And there's been times where we told people, "Hey, we're going to release our app on said day," and then Apple says, "Oh, you need to fix this, this, and this, and we can't approve your app." So you're sort of at the mercy of them.
Is there certain things that you have to fix, or?
Yeah, like they make you fix whether it be notifications, clarification in the app. Like sometimes you don't have descriptions set properly, and it's always stupid things. But then by the time you submit it again, now you're down another 7 days before they can look at it again. It's crazy. But if you look at it this way, that's a good thing because everything is super freaking secure. You know, with Apple as opposed to Google, they're like, give them an hour and your app's going to be live on the App Store.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, you've got the best possible app coming out. You know, they'll help you kind of fix those little bugs.
So Joe says, wouldn't they have done that during the production? They do. They basically have a test bed set up for the app, and it's in an application called Test Flight. During that process, you can give that application to anybody you want during the testing process. It sort of sits there, incubating. But you can't actually submit the build until everything's finalized. So if they were still fixing something on the application and it wasn't ready for prime time, they're not going to push it over. So they probably try to cut it. A lot of us cut it as close as possible with these applications. I know at least we do with our apps. We cut it like right up to the deadline before we push live. And that's not abnormal. Yeah. We just do that.
Yeah, so it seems like probably the biggest thing that was holding them up all this time, at least from what I've heard, is software with their application. I don't think it's much of like hardware. I think that they had
it's all been software, and it's hilarious that it's Apple.
To get the production out. Yeah, it's easy to get the production out. I think that they kind of had everything down packed, but again, the only thing that was holding up was the software. And what's funny is that when I was at CES and they were kind of flying around the drone cage, they had monitors on either side, and you could see the actual app on the monitor.
Yeah.
It seemed to be running fine, but of course, maybe it was just an overlay they were running. I've got no idea.
So with the applications, a lot of times, like when I do a demo for software, I know exactly what I have to click. You have a roadmap in a sense that you're going to select, and it's basically click this, don't click this, and you're going to be fine, and everything looks proper. Same thing like when Steve Jobs first demoed the very first iPhone, he had a specific roadmap of applications and areas that he was allowed to click on to ensure that everything, the public gets a proper presentation, because there was still things broken and it could have totally went sideways, and maybe history would be totally different if he clicked on the wrong icon back then. So
but that's how it is with every single event. Everything is so staged, everything works so perfectly. I mean,
look at last year, iPhone 10.
Yeah, but this year with software too, with WWDC, everything is staged like just to the max almost. I mean, that whole thing where they're like, "Oh, let's group FaceTime with the people from Apple or whatever," you know,
right.
The 32 FaceTime. Those were definitely like set in the back of people there at WWDC.
Yeah, exactly.
They had whatever the hell his name was, Tim Cook there.
Tim Cook, yeah, he made it all the way back to Cupertino from where they were at. No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
So
they definitely do stage things, whether it was an overlay or not. It seemed like a finished product. I know that they probably tweaked a couple of things after CES all this time, but I've heard that it's been a mixture of production and it's been a mixture of software, but mainly software.
So they asked, Cardos was asking, he read on Twitter they got rid of the 900 megahertz frequency on the Evo and it's strictly 2.4. I haven't personally looked at it. While I've been flying it, I've fired it up here. I've fired it up in multiple locations just testing it, and I was in a pretty heavily condensed area. And whether or not it is or isn't, I really don't know. I haven't looked. I'm basically looking at everyday use. Like the normal person who buys a drone is not going to be like, well, what bandwidth? Like the non-enthusiast is not going to be like, what bandwidth is it on? They want to know, well, can I see my video feed and can I control the drone? That's all they care about, right? So that's sort of how I've been approaching this review is, well, how is it going to work basically from the normal non-enthusiast? And I can say in the 7 or 8 times that I've flown it, I have had zero breakup in my transmission. it's been very flawless so far. So they've done a great job there.
Yeah, so in terms of the frequencies, I believe you said 900 megahertz. I believe that might be for another country, right? It's so, for like different countries they have.
So they have PAL, and then they have, you know, obviously NTSC, and then they have CE certifications on this drone. So my thought is the 900 megahertz is going to be something that Europe's going to use. A lot of people are upset because they have not, you know, gotten any notification whether or not this is going to be an international release. And there's everything in the software, everything on the drone and all the markings and everything sort of indicates that they're going to sell this thing internationally. It doesn't make sense for them not to. To make money, they have to sell it across the world. So everything's already there or in place. I'm sure they're just waiting on certifications and whatnot. You know, as far as that goes. So I'm just sort of taking my time. I'm being very careful what I say and what I do with it, because technically this product is not out, and I just want to be clear with everybody, you know, who's watching this stream this evening. The product has not released, so they can stay in beta as long as the product is not released to the general public. It can be in beta. Everybody who uses any form of software will totally understand that until a product is released, the software is still considered beta until they hit finalize. So any of my results or findings, I'm communicating back to Altel so they can better the product. So by the time it does get released, we should see, you know, a couple of software updates beforehand. I've already gotten one yesterday on it, and it greatly improved the stability. And I've sent footage over, and I'm sending logs over to them as well so they can take a look at my settings, because obviously when they test something, it's a little more controlled than me not knowing anything about the unit or what not to do with it. So we'll have to see how it goes. But so far, first impressions are I'm really super impressed with it. Now that we've talked about that, let's talk about Anafi, though. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited. Like, so I had no idea what they were going to release. In fact, on my way up to New York, I was stuck in a little bit of traffic. Wait, real quick. I got pulled over driving up there. Did I tell you about this?
No, you didn't tell me. I didn't know you got pulled over.
I got pulled over driving up to the Anafi event. I was running late. I brought my roommate with me and jumped in the car, sitting in traffic on the first interstate. Then we jumped on the turnpike going up through New Jersey to get to New York. And finally, there was no traffic. I got on, passed a cluster of trucks. I was going 95. I was really happy to get out of traffic. And then as I'm driving 95, a Ford Fiesta flies past me, doing well over 100. And I think that's what tipped it over. The undercover cop, totally undercover cop, New Jersey tags, no municipal plates, pulled out, got both of us. I got like 3 tickets, and I got a court date. So,
damn.
It was definitely not a good day. Although what did make it good is when I was coming out of the event, the cop was writing me a ticket, like a parking ticket, because I parked really hastily just to get inside, and I was walking out, and the dude just threw it out. So that was cool. But anyway, the Anafi is... I had no idea what to expect from Parrot. In fact, if you match up the Anafi with the little "It's Coming" picture, which I'm guessing was like the back of the drone where the battery was, it doesn't match up. So you saw
I did take a look at that. Well, it was confusing because they announced the Bebop Pro.
Yeah.
And
so
I was sort of like, what?
Yeah, they announced that, and when I heard about that, I was like, oh, so are they going to announce it beforehand, and then this is just like a small event to show it off?
Yeah.
So I had no idea what to expect. And I was thinking just by the pictures, it wasn't going to be the Bebop Pro. They had something else up their sleeve.
Sure.
Maybe that Bebop Pro was, again, another way how we see DJI making these like different iterations of the Phantom 4. They're trying to clear stock, maybe just so they can start pumping out the Anafis. I've got no idea. But Bill Thomas actually sent me a screenshot or sent me a picture of the Anafi leaked before the event even happened. And I was driving, sitting in traffic, coming into New York City. I was like, okay, so this is what I'm expecting to see. I walked into the event, and it was starting as soon as I walked in. Super lucky timing. And the I don't even know, the presenter, I guess, he had the worst accent ever. He didn't know how to speak English. Straight up French.
But that's Parrot, and that's not abnormal. Like I've seen that from other events, like where Parrot was there, and they're just all. Are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I went over in the fridge and there's a box of them. So
I'm sitting here drinking a Corona, and you're over there just sipping on a Capri Sun. Let's let this sink in for a moment. Oh god.
My girlfriend and I were joking the last stream that you were drinking a beer on stream, which I've got no problem with. I think it's hilarious. I mean, we're just kicking back, relaxing.
Okay, that's all right. Well,
And and she just texted me. She said Ken is drinking a beer again because she's watching. And I said, "Here I am."
tell her I'm an alcoholic apparently.
Well, she just heard you. There you are.
Is she there or no? She's on the stream.
Yeah, no,
Hi,
she's
Francesca.
watching.
You know
anyway,
you should bring her down with you when you come. We should all go to Universal, man.
Dude,
Harry
I was
Potter,
thinking, yeah,
Harry Potter Land.
She'll definitely come with.
That'll be-
all right,
that'll
so
be
let's
awesome.
get back to
Yeah, we're
topic
off
at
base
hand.
again.
Carlos is paired a French company. Yes, they are, which I find cool. I mean, I don't know if many things are made by the French, you know? And I feel like all these big players in the drone industry are Chinese, so it's kind of nice to like switch things up.
Sort
I
of
don't know.
different.
Yeah, it's different. They kind of have a different take on it. Now, the one thing I can say that I'm really excited for is the app. Just like the fluidity of it looks so amazing. So you know how the DJI Go app sort of has like that home screen, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I was a little bit annoyed about with the home screen of the DJI Go app is that when you've got the phone and when you go and you look at it, it's vertical, right? And then when you want to switch over, you got to flip it horizontal. Well, everything is horizontal within the app. You put it on the screen, and in the background, you can see pretty much what the camera sees, and it's a transparent view of a bunch of like these just, you know, regular home menu settings. But once you get into the actual application, they have all the buttons along the bottom of the screen down here, rather than kind of over here and up top. And the cool thing about that is that there's no buttons on the actual remote, and you just reach up and touch the bottom of the screen. It's really simple. If anybody gets the Anafi, I didn't get much time to look at the app because the one guy that was showing it off was like kept grabbing the phone from me.
I saw that.
Yeah, he
French
kept grabbing
people.
the phone. He kept grabbing the phone from me, and also the bottom of it was all in French. The entire app was in French. He's like, "Oh, I can load it up in English." I was like, "Nah."
But is that how he said it, or did he say, "I can load it up in English"?
No, I mean, it was a little bit like that. He didn't have that terrible of an accent, but the people there were a little bit too hands on. They were like really trying to. The one
They're
guy asked
touchy
me if I ever
people.
flew a drone. Yeah, the one guy asked me if I ever flew on a drone before. Oh,
Whoa! Rick
Yo,
with
Rick,
the
wait. That was
Rick
funny
with
when your mic fell on you.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, that hurt. I was just like, screw it, I'm leaving it. I'm just leaving it. Like, you know what's bad though is I watch it back and I'm just like, I wanted to almost do it in slow motion where it was just like, no, but it was just like it cracked me right in the bridge of the nose. It would have been fine if it smacked me in the face or smacked me here, but it smacks me right in the freaking bridge.
Russ is asking, he says, Anafi only has the downward sensors. Yes, it does. It's got one obstacle avoidance sensor and one of those vision positioning sensors. So if you look at the bottom of any drone, it's kind of identical. The cool thing about these drones is they usually have two of them, but the Anafi only has one. So I guess the reason it has two is for redundancy. Which all of these DJI drones, they have redundancy everywhere. Dual IMUs. Sometimes they have dual barometers, dual compasses, those you see in sort of like the higher end drones. And we also see two sensors usually just so that it's redundant. I mean, I think that's kind of what DJI, in the background, DJI is like known for that.
So Todd Fox says it came out of nowhere. It really did. Like, do you agree with that? Did you expect anything from Parrot? I don't think anybody sitting out here in YouTube land was like, Parrot's going to release a drone sometime soon. Has anybody even thought about Parrot?
No, I mean, and unless you were looking at unless you watched my stream, unless you were maybe on social media looking at stuff that I've been posting, they did have a web page, just it's coming. But I saw nothing from their social media teasing it. I mean, they dropped a bomb, and it seems to be like it's very well perceived from the community because these other companies, they kind of had like this big grand like teaser, you know,
big dance, man. It's been a big dance, you know. I like that though. I don't like a bunch of show. No, just show me the product.
They came out of nowhere, and I mean they're a big company. They've got their products in Apple stores. They are usually toy-oriented drones, and this one I'd have to say is definitely their most advanced drone yet. But really quickly, what Russ was saying about the obstacle avoidance sensors, I don't mind it not having obstacle avoidance sensors. It probably makes the cost a little bit cheaper. If it had obstacle avoidance sensors, I bet you'd be $100 more. They're definitely nice to have, especially if you're going to be flying in tight situations a little bit further away from yourself. Then the drone is going to be able to see things that you might not be able to, like small branches. It could come in handy. But at the end of the day, with a drone this size, I'm gonna be flying it pretty close to me, and I don't really think that I'm gonna need the obstacle avoidance sensors.
Exactly. I was thinking about that today. How many times have I ever used the obstacle avoidance sensors? And zero. I've never gotten close enough to something where those kick in. Actually, they've been more of a nuisance to me than Steve Carpenter.
Damn, Steve.
Every super chat over $10 gets a super awesome chat thing that goes through there. I have no idea whether or not it's actually saying we're not worthy. But thank you, Steve Carpenter. That's amazing. You guys are freaking awesome tonight.
Steve, thank you, man.
So here's for fun in a first aid kit. Yeah, I need to get a sandbag counterweight.
Bottom line, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I don't think that they're worth. I don't think they're worth it to have. If you're someone who's new to drones, that's the thing though, is that this drone is cheaper, and if you're new to drones, you might want to have them.
What is the cost on it? $6.99.
It's $6.99. Yeah.
Dude, let's just think about this here really quick. And I know we've every single YouTuber who's talked about it. Do you want me to shout the specs out like iCopter does? You want me to do that? Did he even say? I won't do that. Or do you want me to go towards the camera like Jay Malone? Like I can just keep bouncing. Yeah, thank you. Best Jay Malone impression wins. Kidding. We'll do a 56-part miniseries. I'm so salty. Anyways, so 21 megapixel camera, and it could go 180. First camera to shoot an HDR video, not photo, but video HDR.
That's something you need to know. Is it's not HDR photo, it's HDR video, high dynamic range
video
in 4K.
$6.99.
That's huge.
$6.99.
I mean, the specs that you are getting are incredible. Did they lack in a few places? Yes, but for where they lacked, they made up in other areas, and also they paid very close attention. So. Something that I was worried about once they showed that the gimbal could look straight up was I was like, oh god, the propellers are going to get in the way all the time. But if you look at the hands-on video I did when I was there, I kind of tested it. I pushed the gimbal all the way up, and the propellers will have no shot of getting into the actual frame. You are never going to get propellers in the shot. Ever.
So that's funny that you even say that right now, because I got so many comments. People are like, "Oh, there's props in the shot." Like they're saying it like it's like, I don't know, I left my kid in the back seat and went to work. There's props in the shot. I mean, it's props in the shot. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. It happens. I've done it with the Phantom. Yeah. So many people do it. If you are gunning full thrust and your pitch of that gimbal is not in any sort of downward facing position, you're going to get props in the shot. Now, granted, Parrot was like, hey, let's make incredibly small props, and let's also position. That's probably why those front arms go so far out. Cardoso CA 13.99. I don't even know what does it mean, CA. I've never received Canadian money before. Corona's next week up in there. Here's to that. Thank you, sir. I have no idea what CA California. I think Corona, it stands for Corona Anonymous. That's what CA means, Corona Anonymous. So it means he wants me to buy me more.
You're definitely an alcoholic.
Probably. I mean, you almost got to be in this industry. You almost have to be. You know how nerve-wracking it is, like when you're flying? Every time you boot up a drone and you take off, it's like, is it coming back home? So this is how you cope.
I gotta. So if anybody saw my video from today, I was flying on a boat yesterday. I've never flown from a boat before, so just really quickly to break down the process. Through the no-wake zones, we were going about 4 miles per hour, and when we were out in the actual ocean cruising, we were going about 14 miles an hour. That was our top speed, right? So the way that I took off was usually when we were going 4 miles an hour. I wasn't doing it when we were going 14 miles an hour. There was a little table on the back, and what I do is I turn off the obstacle avoidance sensors. I would prime the motors, go up like literally a foot, and then the boat would continue to go forward, and the drone would just kind of sit there, you know? And it's funny because whenever I go and I set the drone up, I always kind of let it sit there for a second, go over the settings, make sure everything's fine. But then, like, oh god, the drone is flying away currently.
But how'd that work out? So hang on a second here. What happened?
Real quick, we got super chat. I think is that Joe Mariani? Yes, for the Capri Sun.
What did
Joe
you do?
Mariani with
Joe Mariani. Did I tell you? There's a funny story about Joe. I got to tell you this story. Joe is actually buying my Phantom 4. He bought my
Okay.
Joe bought my Phantom 4 Advanced. Actually, I'm just waiting. We're having some issues with PayPal, but Joe bought it, so he's getting a signature
Awesome.
thing. But you said you bought you flew on the boat, so I thought this was appropriate.
Everybody in the place hit the fucking deck. But stay on your motherfucking toes. We running this. Let's go. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Everybody.
I'm probably gonna get so much flack for even playing that. I just had to do that. I had to.
That's like the 14th time I've heard it. I think that we were singing it and playing it so many times yesterday. But so yeah, flying off a boat, it was pretty nerve-wracking. Sent it up about a foot, right? And then the boat moved forward, it went back, and I'm used to just going and changing all my settings, but the drone was flying away from me, so I had to keep up with the boat the entire time. I mean, I tweeted yesterday, I flew about 20 miles yesterday, and most of it is just literally keeping up with the boat. So it was nerve-wracking, took off from the back, and when I landed it, we were going about 14 miles an hour, so I had my girlfriend's sister's boyfriend catch it for me. So I was cruising along the side of the boat going the same speed, and then I'd get close enough and I'd have him just reach out and grab the leg and pull it in. And the motors freaked out, the gimbal freaked out, but at least the drone didn't come to like a crash landing. So nerve-wracking. If you get a little bit too far, you know, the drone, it's just hard. If you're not like an experienced drone pilot, don't do it. Lloyd, $5, thank you.
But tell them the best part of that you flying that drone is the fact that you freaking it's broken. It's broken.
Yeah. So wait, real quick, Lloyd, thank you for the super chat for letting me get a peek on Friday.
So it's funny. He actually emailed me. Lloyd emails me. He goes, because I pulled it down like as soon as it hit. I pulled it as soon as I can, and he's like, did I see something that I wasn't supposed to? And I'm like, fuck. Well, like, you know, because it was him. I'm like, I'm like, how much did you see? Type of thing. I was like, screw it. But I didn't realize how many did actually see it. Like, I don't know. Does people, like, sit up at night and just type in, like, search for this crap?
Baby, you know?
Why are you guys up this late at night? It was 1 o'clock in the morning. What's wrong with you people? Go to sleep.
Yeah, super chat is on fire today.
Yo, for real, thank you so much, guys. You guys don't understand, like, that fuels like us being able to do this with this software and being able to make a great show for you guys, because it's all about quality. Like, we invest a lot back in these channels, probably more. We don't do really anything for profit at all. Like, it's all mainly about just making everything work for you guys. So thank you so much.
To wrap up the video, I was burning a lot of battery. Flew in sport mode the entire time. This is kind of what made me want to talk about. I was flying in sport mode the entire time. A lot of the videos had props in the shot, and I'd love to be able to not have the props in the shot, but it was just a thing that I had to deal with. People knew I was flying a drone. It's not a high-quality cinema production that's going to go into the movie theater, so I didn't really care at that point. I was just trying to get the best footage possible. Didn't care about, you know, the propellers being in the shot. So I was flying my Phantom, and I was trying to get these wind turbines off the coast, and I was so close. I was about 2 miles out. Now, granted, I had line of sight. I was flying far, but I had visual line of sight, and my drone came disconnected. I was 10,000 feet out, 11,000 feet around there, so almost 2 miles, more than 2 miles. And it said disconnected, and I sat there. I was like, okay, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. And I have my return home altitude set to 400 feet, so I went out 14. I was up like 14 feet high, so it had to go up another 400, turn around, and come back. It was about like 5 or 7 minutes that went by and still no connection, and I was like, oh my god, it's gone. I was like, what could have happened? There's no trees it could have hit. I mean, I was dumbfounded.
Did you rationalize with yourself that you were never going to see it again?
I was thinking to myself, I said, this is just solidifying the fact that I need to buy an Inspire 2.
There you go.
But as soon as it was coming back, I was like, wait, let me just try like unplugging the phone and then plugging it back in. And once I plugged it back in, it came back. And it was just like, oh, it was like 5,000 feet away. I was just happy I didn't like pack up the remote, be like, all right, it's gone, let's walk away, and then it comes and lands, right?
But is that not like one of the scariest feelings? Like, I know like everybody has their own fear factor, I guess. I just fear factor. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, no,
anyways,
no, I mean, look,
but
it's
that's
scary flying a drone, and you know, some people who are new might be just scared to put it up in the air, right?
Black Ops
drones, $5,
dude. Black Ops. So you know what? We're gonna give you a super chat.
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him interact in the comments, but thank you for the.
But thank you. That does mean a lot.
Exactly.
It's scary, and so people are like, "Oh, do a return to home test, do a distance test with the Evo," and I'm like,
Nope.
probably not going to do that until an app is official, until it's out of beta. Like, because if I lose it, it's sort of like,
Don't do it.
hey, Altel, so I lost it. Maybe they will give it back. Maybe they'll say, "Here you go, Ken. We understand." Not going to happen. I probably wouldn't see one for a while.
We're getting way off topic. Let's get back to the Anafi here. So I mean, the specs all around are great, and I have to say that no specs, just the design of the drone is awesome.
Controller. I gotta ask. Does it feel like this?
It does. It does feel like that
good.
a little bit. It seems to be fatter than I would have liked. Something I like about the Mavic Air, Mavic Pro, and Spark controllers, how thin it is. It's really nice to fit your phone screen. And also another thing is I like the phone screen to be on the bottom of the controller.
I don't know why you do. You're really strange.
Yeah,
but you're like looking down like this. Like I like looking like this and being able to sort of keep.
I know that. And it's weird because I like the Phantom so much, and I like the Phantom controller so much, even though that's even bigger and bulkier. Another thing that I find a little bit weird is that the transmitter is on top of the remote control
and it's
holder,
bulky.
But I guess
there's no antennas.
It could, but that's the antenna basically. It's a big bulky antenna almost. So
Steve Carpenter sends, "I've been blackballed I'll be blackballed forever from Malta." I'm already blackballed. I'm almost certain of it. They're just not saying it right now. They were probably sitting there thinking, "Oh fuck, how did he get one? Why? There's probably assassins outside trying to take that would have took me out if they knew."
Yo, Eli, I do have to say, this is the last thing I want to talk about the Evo because it's all about Anafi. I do hate how it looks. I don't like the orange.
I thought I was gonna like the shininess of it, but I don't. I think it's gonna pick up a lot of scratches. I would have liked it to be matte. Like if it was gonna be orange, matte orange, like an orange.
It just looks really ugly. The design too of it.
Industrial.
It just doesn't look ergonomic. It just looks like it's thrown together and it works. Just use it. There's no design really thought out for it.
Yeah, the controller isn't as comfortable as I would like it to be because I keep touching the AB buttons, even though there's no functions on the AB button. I don't know what the AB button does yet. I have no freaking idea. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm still working on it. But I mean, the controller works. It is nice. The fan is stupid loud, though. That is one thing I will say. The fan is stupid loud. But I like how simple the Anafi controller looks. It just looks intuitive. Now, when I
go ahead.
When I flew the Parrot app last, it was Parrot Bebop 2 was the last time I used the Parrot app. But even then, I thought the app was pretty well thought out. Back then, I don't know if it's the same app or not.
I couldn't show much of the app through my walk or through my hands-on impressions, but I do have to say that the app looks slick. Another cool thing about the controller is that there's no power button. As soon as you open it, it turns on. I find that pretty cool.
That is so cool. That's like a MacBook, man.
Yeah, it's just a neat touch. It's just cool. It just turns on right when you open it. You don't even have to worry about it. Let's see. I'm a real big fan of the design, though. It's okay, it doesn't really take me that long to unfold the Mavic Air, and they're trying to say oh, this drone can unfold so quick, under 3 seconds. But I mean, it makes a difference. I held it, it was bang, 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 boom, you're done. I mean, he showed me, he was watch how fast I can set it up as one of the engineers, and he set it up within less than 30 seconds.
But is that how he said it, though? Or did he say, watch how fast I can set it up? I feel like they're just all villains. Every Parrot engineer is some sort of super villain that sounds like he should be on Despicable Me. Can we just pretend that all of the engineers from Parrot are super villains? I'm working on not getting a Parrot at this point. They're probably watching this original Dobo, he's out. He gets no drones anymore. We've seen the damage he's caused. No drones for him. You're out. Dude, that's what I'm thinking.
I love that drone so much, and I can't wait to get it.
It's going to be amazing. I feel like it's the manual, you know how people rag that, oh, you only fly DJI, you fly manual. I think if you don't want, the assistance, the Anafi is the way to go, because there's no sensors preventing you from, getting up as close as you want. You can turn it 180. It's the perfect blend of prosumer drone and consumer drone. They just said, here's the best of all the worlds, try it out. I think that's I think it's the right thing for them to do. Like, to reinvent themselves, they had to do something bold. And if it meant not making as much money, you know, that's sometimes you have to take a leap of faith.
Something that we didn't talk about that I think is really cool, and it's only on like the Mavic Pro and the Phantom 4 standard, is the zoom in the camera.
Lossless zoom, 2.8 times lossless zoom.
In 1080p, you can zoom in 2.8 times lossless zoom. With 4K, it's 1.4 times, so you can still get lossless zoom even if you shoot in the highest 4K resolution, which also you can record in Cinema 4K, so it's sort of like the longer version of it. It's 4096 pixels.
I think that's the best way to do cinematics, though.
Me too, yeah. And, you know, sometimes people can, like, overlay the black lines, but this will just get you even wider if you want to shoot. And
you know why you're not supposed to overlay those black lines, though, right?
Why?
So the reason why they say not to overlay the black lines is because that black line becomes a portion of the video, and if somebody's watching it at a lower bandwidth, that black line deteriorates and distorts, and it becomes pixelated part of the video. That's what I've heard. How, like, I always do it though.
No, I totally feel that. So what would you maybe just recommend? Maybe like cropping down the top to fit the lines on.
Yeah, I'm really all about like shooting the new aspect ratios, because like with looking at video on my iPhone 10, like I like that longer aspect ratio because it just fills the entire screen, and it just looks awesome. So
yeah, Rick, I gotta say the Anafi is definitely gonna be a great
dude. It's gonna be worth the money.
The other cool thing that I saw is that 3D mapping feature. That looks badass, dude. I mean the model that they had there. What's that?
I did that. The beach guy was saying. He said, "Hello from Virginia. Virginia is for lovers. Virginia is for lovers."
Isn't that their license plate?
Yeah, I've always thought. Is it Virginia is for lovers, or is it something
Virginia.
else?
I think it is.
Is it Virginia?
No, it's
Virginia. Sounds like. I don't know. I like Virginia. It seems like a nice state.
No, so like, I'm just over the top excited for it. I don't even know why. I can tell,
man. I haven't seen you this excited since the last
I know. I'm so so the thing about like these channels that we have here is that like it kind of like new tech fuels our channel. You know, like there's only so many videos I can make about the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro and comparing them and talking about them. I mean, it's like the other day I made a video about the most underrated feature of the Mavic Pro, and it's like, geez, this thing's been out for 2 years and I'm still talking about it. And it's just so cool. It's like not only do I get a break from talking about DJI, but now I get a totally brand new product that's going to be awesome.
You're DJI's stepson, right?
Yeah, apparently I'm DJI's stepson.
So I don't know. I want to touch on that though, because like I feel like there was some low blow action happening there, you know. So for many of you who haven't seen Billy's rant on the Autel Evo, they were all like, every single one of his points were like, you know, 110%, like probably what every one of you feel like as you look at it, and like you think like what's going through a marketing standpoint. Like he touched on every one of them. You know, and there's some groups that went around and shared this video. Some of the groups happen to be part of other groups, and you know, obviously it's the internet, so everything is viewable by all. You know, and it's one of those things that
the bottom line is there were people that weren't happy with me saying that I was regurgitating people's facts about it. And yeah, I mean, I was pretty much saying everything that everyone else has said. I haven't talked about the Autel Evo on my channel. I know a lot of people have talked about rumors, stuff like that. Ken, you covered it very extensively, which I like that Ken, and I like that some other channels covered it, but it's like I'm not going to jump in on that conversation. There's too many people talking about
Here's the most important factor of this. If you don't like a guy with 2 first names, fuck you. You know?
Wait, hold
on. That's what you got to say.
Watch this. When I pull the Capri Sun up, it changes the exposure. It gets darker.
Capri Sun may just be the most underrated utility for filming in the world.
Whoa. No, but all right. So look, the real reason I'm upset that Autel took so long to release this drone is because they are fueling competition, and competition is good no matter what you purchase. Look, I played the cross goalie, and I had someone who's neck and neck with me, and that competition made me better in my sport. And these other companies, other than Apple, making phones, whether it's Samsung, Google, HTC, all of them, in a way, they're making Apple's products better because you know they're always going to be on their heels. I feel like Apple might have taken like a little brake. They kind of like pumped the brakes a little bit. But right now, I think that their foot is full on pedal to the metal, but now DJI is pumping the brakes. As I said in that video,
but
DJI
are they?
has not released.
Are they?
So I've got no idea. So I think in terms of releasing products, DJI is definitely pumping the brakes. I mean,
or do you think they're sort of sitting there like, all right, everybody blow everything you have, show us all your cards, and then they're just going to be like, royal flush. Like, I feel like that's sort of how they are.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're pumping the brakes, but as I said in that video, they've definitely got stuff like kind of kept up in their laboratory. They've got stuff that they don't want us to see.
Stupidest comment I saw was that somebody got a unit and and stole secrets for DJI. Was somebody's like, oh great, now, and I'm like, listen, DJI doesn't need to steal anything because they have hundreds of engineers, hundreds of people thinking about things to do. Like, what people forget is Skydio Labs with the R1 came out and showed off all these crazy features. You don't think, not for 1 minute, that all these drone manufacturers like, we need to figure out a way to buy Skydio or to figure out what tech they have crammed in the drones because we want our drone to do that. We want it to think for itself. Like, come on.
See, that's the thing is, Skydio will be torn down and likely implemented into other drones tech. It's like Tesla. Teslas have been torn down, and now you see these electric cars coming out. You know, Teslas are not becoming
just tweaking what they see. Speaking of which,
exactly.
Another news which I don't get. I made a video about a flamethrower and it got demonetized, but yet there's hundreds of thousands of these videos now with the Boring Company flamethrower. I don't understand that. Have you seen that? Did you see the flamethrowers?
Yeah, I've seen them. You made a video about it?
I don't know. I sort of want a flamethrower.
I did too. I was gonna buy one. I find it as an investment. They were like $300-400.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it was. Right.
I'll be safe with the flamethrower though.
The fact that there's only 10,000 that came out, you could easily double your money by selling them to somebody who's like a collector or something like that. You hold on to it, it's going to be worth a lot of money in a couple of years. And also, if you were to create content on YouTube and you started making videos on that, not only would you boost your audience, but you would also get so many views.
But just, it's a flamethrower, so that's pretty cool. Like, I just feel like...
yeah, exactly. It's a flamethrower.
I could keep my mother-in-law away if I had a flamethrower. So, I don't know. Just a thought. She's probably watching. Hi, Mom. I don't know if she is. She's probably not. She hates me.
Okay, we were talking about the Evo rant, and I mean, at the end of the day, maybe I look stupid because they just did come out with their release date, but you know, they say second quarter, and the fact that they're going to come out at the end of the second quarter.
We had no idea. We had no idea that was going to happen. Yeah. And to be fair, that I didn't end up with the unit in my hand till well after that video. And then I told you that I had one in my hand, and you were like, well, fuck, I already pressed publish. So, but it was just, you know, it was timing. It was just really bad timing. Yeah. But, like, we do talk about these things. Like, information goes back and forth between you and I all the time when we're creating videos. So we sort of try to keep things in unison anyways, to the best of our abilities.
We thought of a pretty cool idea. We thought of a pretty cool idea we could do once Ken got his Evo, which you want to talk about it?
No, I want to keep that down to wraps because it's going to be so dope, dude.
It's going to be
It's gonna be like it's gonna be fun, and we haven't done anything. We've done these up in the air lives, and I think that this video that we're gonna do together is just gonna be over the top awesome. Over the top awesome. I think it'll be absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to do it. It's gonna be great to film. Hello, Rohan. How's it going? Oh, that's what I meant to say too. So if you guys already haven't, we're giving away a Rise Tello on the 18th. So not this episode, but the next week's episode, we're going to announce the winner. I just said that, so weird. Winner. 2 beers in. Of the Rise Tello. So if you haven't just commented on the video, just literally just comment on it. You don't even have to watch it. I don't care if you watch it, but make sure you smash the subscribe button, because I have these little gnomes that are telling me whether or not you've subscribed. I don't know. But subscribe, and then comment, and then hopefully you win. We're just going to do, and we're going to do it here. So what I thought would be cool is, like, I'll just plug it into the browser, and then we'll just randomly pick that person.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Not going to lie, I hope they're from the U.S., because holy crap, shipping overseas.
Oh, it's a little ass drone, though. It's a little ass drone.
Yeah, you think? Like, I'm okay.
You
Like,
could fit it in an envelope if you wanted to. I mean, it wouldn't be the best protection, but you could fit all that stuff in an envelope if you didn't include it in the box.
I
which I'm
told
sure
you,
probably
I already. A matter of fact, I already boxed it up. It's right there. But I told you, I gave away a mini like way back when, like in December. I gave away a Google Mini,
what?
a Google Mini. Kid ended up being a YouTuber out of what the hell? Where the hell was he? He was overseas. Gosh, Jerusalem. Where the hell is that? Where's the Promised Land? Where's Jerusalem? It was somewhere in the Middle East, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere in the Middle East. I can't even think of it. Anyways, Israel. That's where it was. Israel. Anyways, and that was like, so the Google Mini cost $50, and it cost me $50 to ship it there. But then we came up with this idea. His uncle works in New York, so I just sent it to New York, and then his uncle was going overseas, brought it to him. So I was like,
oh, that's perfect. Cool.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was awesome. I probably won't luck out this time.
I did a cross-country trip last summer, and I did a case giveaway for, like, the goggles, and the dude that won was from Nashville, so I met up with him, and I gave it to him, and I went to Nashville.
Dude, hand delivery. How cool is that, man?
Hey,
hand delivery.
Well, real quick, something funny is that when I was on Block Island flying my drone the other day, or yesterday, this dude recognized me from YouTube. It was so funny.
Did you autograph anything for him?
No, but I was flying my drone around, and he goes, so they let you fly, not me, because there was an airport there. You had to go through, call them. You had to
on Block Island, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty busy airport too. I had to go. Check off everything. I had to put in my phone number. I had to call the tower, all that stuff. And he was having problems because he wasn't able to connect his iPad. That was it was Wi-Fi only, no cellular. Couldn't connect to his personal hotspot from his phone.
Can't believe people live on that island.
Yeah, he goes, oh, so they're letting you fly. And I turn around and go, oh, what, are you not able to fly? He goes, oh, I recognize you. I was like, oh, probably from YouTube. So I just helped the guy, like, set up and whatever. And he had a fan
that's nice,
too,
man.
So.
Block Island is such a cool island. It's a ways out, though. Cool. Like, people don't realize how far it actually is.
I'm
like,
surprised people live out there. That's nuts.
Dude, yeah, and, like, that's crazy. And I've been out there when it's been pretty rough, fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And... dude, looking over at that coast, like, I wouldn't want to live out there. Although you were just by yourself, like, you have to stock up enough of food. I'm sure your internet is, like, at least only 30 megabits up. You probably have satellite. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I go right towards, what is my up and down speeds, please? That's just sort of where my mind trends.
Internet out there.
But that's cool, though. He recognized you, dude. That's... like, I was in the grocery store and this lady asked me to sign her cantaloupe.
Funny.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool, though, if that happened. I don't know. It'd be awesome if that not happening. But now maybe. Like, it was funny. Like, I don't know why I was being so, like, cautious flying this drone. Like, I was trying to be, like, all undercover. I'm like, nobody knows what this is. Like, if I was like, oh, this was a Mavic, people would be like, yep, it's a Mavic. Like, nobody would know.
We got about 10 minutes left. Let's go rapid fire on the Anafi, just so that we can kind of meet the quota for the title.
So what do we got? We've got the app. You talked about the controller, simplicity.
App's cool.
21 megapixel camera, 180.
Yeah, the camera's going to be a beast. I'm trying to think of what we didn't talk about. Oh, so I guess transmission frequency, which again is something maybe not everybody cares about, but a good.
Apparently, people do.
I care about it. You should give autographed Capri pack. Autographed Capri Sun packages. It's gonna be a new staple of this show, Capri Suns.
The fact that he's drinking like Capri Sun.
That's my third one. Come on, they gotta make bigger ones for older people.
So next week, super chats go towards Capri Suns. Every Capri Sun. Maybe we'll drink Mondos.
Alright, no.
Alright. Go on. Rapid fire. We've got 10 minutes.
Frequency.
Transmission.
For transmission frequency, 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz over Wi-Fi. We got to test it out because it's like the Sparks Wi-Fi was terrible, right?
Yes.
The Sparks
on Wi-Fi.
Miserable. The transmission frequency was garbage.
But was it garbage because there was no OTG, though? Nah, it was garbage anyways. It was garbage both ways, though.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit of both. I had to plug in all the time, and still it was garbage. And the fact you could connect to the phone wirelessly, even that was like even more garbage. Now with the Mavic Air, that's pretty good. I have no complaints with the Mavic Air. When I was in Minneapolis with Jack, I was flying that thing almost a mile away with no problem in the city, no interference. So they claim to have these separate or these little things. Yeah, I'm going to be suffering from a sugar rush. They had these little things that they talked about where it was like they've improved the reliability of the Wi-Fi, which we've got to see. I mean, they could totally be right. Rick, it does not have onboard memory, just an SD card slot. They could
That's
be
perfect.
right.
I'm glad about that, by the way.
What? No internal storage?
No internal storage, because like all their other drones didn't have SD card support. So if I had to choose one or the other,
Yeah.
I would like both. I would.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's SD.
I like SD. I like the ability to expand.
Yeah, it's gonna be micro SD most likely.
Carlos asked, "What do you think about whether the Anafi will be able to resist big winds?"
So they had the way they tested the speed really was in a wind tunnel, and they showed like a video of the Parrot Anafi in a wind tunnel, and behind like the actual Anafi flying, they had like the statistics, how fast the wind was blowing, the time. But really, the only thing you want to look at is how fast the wind was blowing. Now it was in kilometers per hour, but when you convert this over to miles per hour, it was withstanding a wind of 31 miles per hour and standing still.
Ooh.
So 31 mile per hour wind blowing from an air tunnel against the Anafi. Now, of course, when you have it out in the wild, out in the regular world, wind will be blowing from everywhere, right? Which is going to suck. Lloyd against
Lloyd.
I think Lloyd is the one who continues to donate for my Capri Suns. So Lloyd, thank you.
Lloyd's getting Billy Capri Suns.
So
31 miles an hour. Another thing I saw. So there's an included tool in the Anafi. Like looks like an Allen key of some sort. Is that for the props? Are the props not easily removable? Is it not quick release props?
Dude, wait. All right, you know what? I'm gonna really quickly. I don't know if I can send this to you, but the propellers are weird. They're like, so you know how the propellers, they have the foldable propellers, right? They like fold in half almost. They're like two separate propellers, so technically you have like 8 propellers. It's really wild.
No, that's what I was looking at, and it looked like there was some sort of strange proprietary screw that held them in place.
If I send you this like really quick video, do you think you could show it on the stream?
How are you gonna send it?
Email.
Can you send it in Drive? Can you send it in Drive?
Can I put it in that Dropbox folder that we have?
Yeah. Put it in the Dropbox folder. That's a great idea.
All right. I gotta find where I've.
And then I'll just create a new input, and then I can load it up. We're just doing stuff on the yeah, Richard, I agree, man. I'm not really sure if I'm sold on the props. Like, I would hate to, like, I've never had to replace props on a lot of drones. Like, every time I've ever cut my finger on a drone, I've had to replace my props just because I've always damaged them. But these, I think, would be a pain in the neck if you were in the field and you had an accident. Evo, you changed Evo test footage. Where'd you put it, Billy?
I just created a new folder in Up in the Air called Anafi. It's a folder, and it says that it's going to take another 40-ish seconds to upload.
Okay. So you just created a folder Up in the Air live.
Yeah, so Ken will show you really quickly what these props look like. They're very strange. Again, they almost look like little insect wings. They're really weird, the propellers, but also the way they attach. Again, it's just like a real quick video. Ken, it's about 30 seconds left until it's hitting Dropbox.
Cool. With your supersonic freaking speeds, man.
Yeah, right. It's loading up pretty fast. It's what is it? It's
clicking back out, clicking back in. 33 seconds.
It's about 33 seconds. I should have just sent a screenshot.
We need to just like start uploading stuff like ahead of time. Just so we have stuff like readily available, I think.
I was thinking about giving you some footage real quick. Another thing that I want to talk about also, kind of talking about the Wi-Fi as well and the transmission feed, which you guys will be able to see in this video I'm sending Ken. I didn't include this. Ken, it should be uploaded. I did include this in my hands-on, but the little like arms are fat, like the feet. So like you've got the arms that extend out, and then the feet that hold it up are pretty fat because that's where the antennas are. And that's the same thing with the Mavic Air. They have the little foldable feet that kind of flop down. The antennas are hidden inside of those feet, and that way it pushes it away from the drone's body, allowing you to get the best signal possible. I don't know how much of a difference that it actually makes, but
all right, looks like I got this video. I'm just gonna play it here. So hang on a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting.
How strange is that?
Isn't
that weird?
But you know what though? That's so Parrot to do that. Like if you've looked at like you needed a tool like when you had the Parrot Bebop used to have like this tool. You would set it down on the props, and they were quick release props. But you needed the tool, and there was like a triple prop. Those are so small. It's crazy. It's just crazy, like, looking at that whole design. Another thing about the design, so from what I'm reading on the website, it's infused carbon fiber. Is that true?
I've got no idea. I do remember them saying something about the carbon fiber build of the drone. I mean, yeah, that should leave it to be pretty strong. And if you guys watched my video, I talked about this experience that I had. They were flying the drones around inside of where the event was being held, but they didn't have a drone cage. Now, whenever I've been to a DJI event, they've got drone cages, and that's where they show the drone off, just in case anything happens. One of the Anafis was a little bit above my head. It flew straight at me, hit the window, and fell to the ground. They almost hit me with the drone, and that would have been funny if it actually hit me. But it hit the window pretty hard. I'd say probably going like 15 miles an hour. This dude was cooking with it. I've got no idea what happened. He hit the wall, fell to the ground, and it was fine. Wasn't broken, wasn't bent. They literally picked it up, turned it off, put it on the ground, turned it back on, took off.
It sort of looks like that front piece there, like just looking at that video where the gimbal actually is housed, like it sort of sticks out a little bit further than the camera, and it would sort of protect it against like a front impact, you know, if you hit a wall, like if you hit a tree or something that was sticking out towards the camera, I can see that being a problem, but I don't know.
It's very situational, but it has some sort of guard around the gimbal, which is nice because if you look at something like the Mavic Pro, that gimbal is so flimsy. But with the Phantom, it's a little bit guarded because of the landing gear it has around it. So
I'm thoroughly like satisfied that it doesn't look anything like a Mavic. Like it's like its own thing. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like they knocked it out of the park with this, and I think Parrot should be really happy with this. Another thing we really didn't talk about was how portable this is, and it sort of just folds up and tucks away in a very slim case. It comes with a case.
So that's the cool thing, is that the case is not much bigger than the drone itself. So, I mean, I would find no reason to not throw it in the case. Something that's a little bit annoying when I showed you those props is that, you know how if you have like the Mavic Air and you kind of extend the props out to a certain length and then you kind of like move the drone around, they stay still. They stay almost like locked in position. These things just flaunt all around. They flop all around. So you're definitely going to want to use that case if you throw it in your backpack.
Really? So this is the exact opposite. Like the Evos props don't flop all around. Like I've never felt props so stiff. Like it takes some force to pull them apart. Like I have no idea how the motors spin those up. I really don't.
Well, and it's like a good and a bad thing on both sides, right? Because these props, when I was trying to get shots, were like annoying, flopping all around. If you have that in your backpack, it could easily get caught on something.
I agree.
And it's even true with the Mavic Air and Mavic Pro. It's annoying to have those propellers out, so you've got to have something that at least like holds them together.
Yeah, somebody's like, "Oh, we're buffering every 10 seconds." Yeah, so probably because like anytime I push out some sort of video or make a crazy transition or something like that, yeah, it's gonna buffer from time to time. We're also streaming in 1080p because we're pixel junkies, so it is what it is. But we're almost done anyways. So anyways, the Anafi. We talked about it for 1 full hour. I'm impressed with it. I can't wait to get hands-on with it. I reached out to Parrot today on Twitter, trying to drum something up, because one of the things I liked about what they did was they've sort of given a lot of smaller YouTubers some hands-on with it. So, hey, maybe, gut shot, maybe they give me a chance to go hands-on with it. If not, I will find another way. I've seemed to...
There's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I'll find a way to get it. So it is what it is. But anyways, everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who pushed out a super chat today.
Yeah,
thanks,
was guys.
Crazy good, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I need a case for everything, Rich. I don't know where it is, but my backpack. I didn't show anybody this, but this is dope.
You know what's funny is, and I'll let Jen Say whatever you gotta say.
Fuck, I just hit my face, man. God, I'm so accident prone. So this backpack is actually housing the Evo, the controller, the whole thing. The Evo's Evo's right up here, dude. Look at this thing. Look how perfect this is. The Evo's in there.
Wow.
Dude, this is the best. It's got to be designed for a Mavic.
I'm a little bit unlike Ken. I like to go caseless on a bunch of my stuff. I got a D-brand skin here right now.
I myself right in the mouth.
See it.
I need to
You guys can't even see it. Right?
get insurance on myself because damn, I just busted my
Literally,
mouth.
bro.
Bro, I busted my tongue. I'm pretty sure it's bleeding. So with that, I'm gonna say au revoir. Get it? Because it's French. Because we're talking about the Anafi. Au revoir. Parlez-vous français, François? Everybody have a beautiful evening. I hope you all have a great week. We will be back next Monday to give away the Tello, and we're going to answer more questions, and maybe something else will break news, man.